What's going on, guys? Hope you're doing well. Welcome back to another SuperMayne video, and in this video we are racing on iRacing in VR in our second ever race in a Class D circuit, or a Class D event should I say. So I'm new to this iRacing terminology, so I do apologise. So we are racing in the iRacing IR04 LOGITECH challenge, I think it's called. Sorry if I've got it wrong, someone please correct me. But yeah, we are racing in like a Formula style vehicle. It's very similar to a Formula 2, but I thought I'd do it in VR for the first race that I done in this class was a little bit sketchy, and I ended up getting caught up in a bit of an accident. I went again, but this time VR, and unfortunately it was one of them races that you had to actually set up the car yourself. But what I did was use the fixed setups that you can use when you buy this actual package from iRacing, because this is one of the cars you have to buy. I just wanted to have a go on it. It was my first. There wasn't really much Class D races on at the time, and this was one of them, but you had to have the car. We are at the Okayama circuit in Japan again. I mean, it seems to be the same circuit for a lot of the classes at the moment, and I just absolutely love this car and the way it handles. Going from the Formula V car to this car really is a complete different change in class. The car's got a hell of a lot more grip, and it handles really well, very similar to a Formula 2 car, as I stated earlier. But this race in the whole was just a very fun race, just had a great time. The cars in front of me, we just slowly picked off, and I don't know how I managed to kind of stay with these guys. Bearing in mind this was only my second race in this class, but I just sort of kept my head, kept composure. When I'm racing in VR as well, it just seems to be so much more easier, and I can control the car a hell of a lot more. I can pick the apexes out as well, so it just is a lot more fun and a lot more challenging to do. As you can see, we've got a Race Labs overlay on as well, just to give me a little bit more information. I like to see sort of my telemetry of how I'm doing with my brakes and my acceleration. It's helping me actually get better at this game. Obviously I'm a rookie still, and I'm still climbing my way up through the ranking system, but this race as a whole was just very, as I'd take a little bit of a slide there on, is that turn 7 or something like that.
Looks like the leader's binned it in. Redman corner.
Yeah, we really did actually just keep up with the leading pack. I qualified about, I think, 5th or 6th on the grid with a 1:31, I believe it was at the time. We pushed our way through to through the pack, and actually in the race managed a better time of about a 1:30 overall. But really did enjoy, and for a few laps I did actually think that I was there was part of me thinking I probably can nick the race win here. Unfortunately, as you'll see in a little bit, we did make a little bit of a mistake. But it was when one of the corners that I really seem to just struggle with in this car at times, and yeah, just lost our way a tiny bit. One of the other things I do find myself doing sometimes on this iRacing game is copying the braking points of the car in front of me, rather than concentrating on my own braking points and doing what I can do best, and doing what I see is the right racing line. I do sometimes find myself copying the guys in front of me, which is a bit frustrating, but anyway, it is what it is. As we are currently sitting in about 4th or 5th place, and quite comfortably, I might add at the moment. There was the guy that was leading the race at the time was absolutely dominating, and did sort of push away from the pack a little bit, but I managed to keep up. I think this with 2nd, 3rd and 4th in front of me. I seem to just be able to match their pace. I don't know if it's because it was copying as 2nd place just spins out, and we just managed to miss 2nd place, and we've got a good run on now, which is 3rd place, down into the first corner, and we take the inside line. The good thing about iRacing I like is that people do generally just let you go, and don't necessarily try and defend too hard, because they do want to keep their racing points in there and don't want to lose or get lots of penalty points, so they do generally let you go, like I do to somewhat if I see somebody coming down the inside of me. As we are now up into second place, I just didn't even really notice, as we are now chasing the second place man, first place man down, and we're already catching a few back markers in this race. This is one of the corners I really do enjoy. I think this is turn 4 or 5. This is turn 6. Turn 6 I find very tricky. Into turn 7. It's if you can get these set of corners right. I was finding I was faster than some of the guys in the in some corners than I was in others. As I say, the thing I love about this game, and I really love about this game, is the fact that you race against people from all around the world, all different, and what iRacing is very good at, it seems to match you up with people that are average a similar sort of lap times, or that's what I found anyway, similar sort of lap times as you do, and it's very interesting. Keeps it very entertaining, and as I'm getting a little bit better at the game now, I'm slowly starting to match the sort of the front pack of racers. Once you get out of that middle class of people, or that sort of bottom class of people, the rookie races, and work your way into the main sort of the first license. I've noticed as I got into the higher end of the rookie classes, the races got a little bit more tidy and a little bit more clean, and the first few races were a little bit what was going on here. But the game itself, I'm just really, honestly, the graphics still doesn't blow my mind that much, and I do get a lot of comments when I've streamed it saying, oh, the graphics don't look good on this, but when you don't necessarily need the graphics when you're playing a game that drives and feels a lot more realistically than like the Formula 1 game that looks looks very beautiful and looks very good, and how it very nice. It just does not handle in the same sort of way that this sort of iRacing game and a lot of the other simulation games do. And one of the things I struggle with in Formula 1 is that I get a lot of spin, and I end up spinning the car a lot more, whereas this is, I do spin the car, and there will be a spin coming up shortly, but that's more because you've taken the wrong racing line into the corner, and the car's off centre, or the weight's loaded more to one side. But this is far more fun to drive, and I have a lot more fun in iRacing than I do in Formula 1, and I can really concentrate on actually just learning to drive the cars better. As you see, we are catching the first place driver right now, and we were getting a little bit more, we were taking corners better as the confidence was growing as well in the game, which was what I found is the first few races have been a little bit tricky, and the confidence sort of, once you get confident with the car and you know how to handle it and drive it, you do find that you get a bit more, you get a lot more feel for the car. The tyres get warm as well. So this is a fixed setup too, so I did, when I first downloaded this car, and I didn't realise the amount of stuff you can change on this car, and I'm guessing it's something I will learn over time, as the setting up for the car, for the handling. As I say, I picked the fix Okayama setup for this car, and just did a bit of practice on it in the practice session before, and then just played for a little while. As I say, as we're coming down the main straight again, we're on lap 6, and we've kept it pretty tidy. And at this stage of the race, let me know what you think. Do you think it's been a tidy race so far? Let me know what you think of my driving as well. As we've been, as you know, this is my iRacing journey, and I've been really practicing a lot off stream. I've not raced a lot of races online, just because it can be a little bit boring sometimes sitting around for people, and I don't like to make people sit and watch me play something that could necessarily be a bit of a disaster. And as I say, we've got the third place driver now sitting behind us, and you can see him in the wing mirrors every now and again.
10 minutes remaining.
And I'm kind of watching what he's doing, but what I've found to do on this game is actually just worry about what you're doing. Don't worry about the person behind you, because the person behind you may make a mistake because you're racing your race. They've got to get past you. Don't necessarily just leave the space. If you see them coming up the inside, leave the space for them, let them go, but don't necessarily defend too hard if you don't need to. It's but what you also find is if you're concentrating on your own race, that person may also make a mistake because they're trying to keep up with you. Obviously, as you see, the leader at the minute has now sort of driven off a little bit. He's picked up a little bit of pace, and I think he's sort of pulled out a near 1 to 2 second gap on us. But again, I just concentrated on what I was doing, how I was racing. We were on lap 8 of around 13 to 14 laps. It's a time race, 20 minutes.
The gap in front is
so
now 1.6.
you just got to keep your head, keep your composure, and drive your own race. And that's what I found to do is just do what I need to do. And I think actually now the third place driver has disappeared from our wing mirrors. He might have made a little mistake as we are going down the back long straight. And this track actually is quite a fun track to drive. I do really enjoy this track. It's been a very interesting experience as to what tracks, learning all the tracks. But what I've found to do, and I've said this to people within the community that have watched me races and never had the chance to play this track themselves, is actually just take your time, go out, learn the track. Because I get asked, how do you learn a track without a line on? I just literally, all I've done is go out and in the practice session before and just drive the track slowly, learn the corners, doesn't take long to learn a track. Sorry, I got my words confused there. Doesn't take long to learn a track. It's just learning where you can go fast and not. As I sort of miss my braking point now, and it's a little bit wide, but it's also finding where you need to brake and where you don't. As that corner there, the Williams corner 2, I found that if I just lift my foot off the accelerator a little bit, or fully off it, and let the car and the downforce do its job, as we go into that corner a little bit wide and a little bit late, and I found as this race went on a tiny bit, I did have a few issues as we passed one of the back markers down the long straight into the half pin turn 5, just to learn the track and just do it at your own pace. Don't worry about racing people. There's one of the first spins we had. We just got went a little bit too quick into the corner, a bit out of shape on the racing line, and unfortunately, or I say fortunately, at that point in time, the third and fourth place drivers were a little bit too far behind. As I say, I was going to say, I started to, with that mistake in turn 4 at Wolf Curve, there was a mistake coming because I just lost a little bit of concentration, which is what I found in this game. If you lose a little bit of concentration and sort of don't concentrate on what you're doing, you do make a mistake, which is a bit frustrating, as we was having a very good, clean, tidy race. And I got a little bit frustrated with myself, but it is what it is. You sometimes have a spin, as the leaders now sort of pulled out a 12-15 second gap. I can't really read the standings as it is at the moment, but I'm still very happy with the race as a whole at the moment, how we've been doing, and really just enjoying it. And I say this is the third or fourth track I've driven on iRacing, and without doing the as you've seen some of the content on the oval circuits, this track is probably my favourite track to date. I do like Alton Park because it's a British track, and I've been there a few times in the past, but this actually is a really fun track to drive, and it's a fast track. It's got a mixture of fast corners, slow corners, some technical corners as well. These two being one of them. I've noticed a lot of people in other races just spinning here a hell of a lot. The only thing that I'm a little bit annoyed, well not annoyed with iRacing, is you do have to buy a lot of the content. As much as you pay the monthly subscription, you also have to buy content, which I find a little bit wrong, that you pay a monthly or a yearly subscription or whatever that might be, and you have also having to buy additional content to do other races. I know you don't necessarily have to buy all the content, but you have to buy tracks and stuff. But hey, as I say at the moment, I'm enjoying it, I'm liking it, and I've paid for my first car, and actually I don't regret paying for it, because it's a great car to drive, it's a fun car to drive. I've been looking at some of the GT cars that I might do. I'm going to have a look at some other races. If you've got any races that you guys do in particular, let me know in the comments below, please do. As I say, this experience of iRacing has been absolutely fantastic so far. What I did, what I've noticed while recording this and doing the new voiceover and a bit of commentary, is that in the VR headset I use, the Oculus VR headset, the game becomes a bit jittery sometimes. And I don't know if it's the Oculus headset not set up properly, but actually watching the video that's been recorded,
Yellow flag.
it hasn't done any of the jitters or any of the things that happened during the race, which is a bit of a strange one. So maybe if someone knows any additional setups, comments, please let me know below. As we go a little bit wide again into, what turn is that? Turn 8, Redmond corner. Make a little bit of a mistake, and I think we may just have got away with that one a little bit, as we are a little bit ahead. Just a little bit out of shape again, as I say. That's one of the things you need to be careful of. And I forgot I did that one actually. Get a little bit wide in the corner and make a little bit of a mistake, and it just goes. Car just goes, and at least it wasn't a full spin, but it's still a loss of control. And that has probably brought back in 3rd and 4th place into play just behind us. We are only a lap and a bit from the end, and unfortunately the nice, clean and consistent driving we were seeing has slowly started to fade away, as I say. But going back to this iRacing Formula style car, it's absolutely fantastic. And I'm looking at the screen now thinking, Pete, why have you not pressed the tear off button, as it's getting a little bit blurry, and it's not cleaning the car. As we come again, look, you see we're in the line into that corner there. Revolver and Piper. Piper's quite clean, but Revolver was a very bad line there. And I think now I've actually started to worry about the people behind us, as we worry about where the guys are behind us. They are catching us, and make another little mistake into Mike Knight corner. I love the names of these corners. As we go into the last corner now, and we are on, is this the last lap? I'm not sure if this is the last lap or the second to last lap maybe. We might have one more lap after this one, I'm not too sure. And we'll go into the first corner. Found that 3rd gear is a decent enough speed for this corner. Into 4th. Lift off a little bit into 4th around Williams. This Moss S is a fast, flat out corner into Atworth curve. Again, down to about 3rd gear, missing the apex a little bit there, a little bit untidy. Down the long straight towards turn 5, the hairpin. And again, this is one of them corners you just need to get it right. I generally go past the 100-metre mark, brake hard, a little bit too late that time, into 2nd gear, use keep it guard, into Revolver, a bit too wide there in Revolver, should be hitting the curve, into the Piper, touching the curb, and then the outside curb, down the little straight into Redmond corner, turn 8, and we've missed the apex again. As you see, I'm turning my head, trying to, for whatever reason, get the car to turn. into Hobbs, into Mike Knight corner, and into the last corner, turn 11. And it's a lovely track to drive, as we are definitely into the last lap of the race now. There is the white flag being waved at us. First corner, as I say, just probably could carry a little bit more speed through that corner. We have got plenty of time, as we've got a little bit wide into, oh my life, I didn't even realise, into Williams corner. I forgot about that section, as we've gone a little bit off the Williams corner.
Oh.
As we as the third place man has just gone past us into Atworth Curve, and a race that we looked like we was going to comfortably take at second place has now gone into a little bit of a we've messed it up completely, as we go down towards the hairpin turn 5, and got into complete panic mode because I really thought that we was going to have a second place. A couple of little mistakes, see, getting the car out of shape, as I said, following I'm not sure the driver's name in front of us, but we just call him second place man, keeping right behind him. Any other racing game probably would have taken a dive around a couple of these corners, as we get very close coming through Redman, and then even closer coming into Hobbs. But because I'm worried about me iRacing points, I just didn't bother taking a lunge and let him take second place, and I'll take third. Unfortunately, a bit frustrating, but there we go. It is what it is. Hope you like these sort of videos anyway. I do like doing the VR videos and a bit of commentary on them. Let me know in the comments below. But for now, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.